Let's see.
There you go.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Women's Coffee Club. This is a safe space for women to share and support each other. So I'm so excited to have all of you here. So grateful for you all. And we're very lucky this morning. We have our host, Kathleen McDermott, and she agreed to do this, and the topic is about stress. All of us can use some help in this area. We all are stressful. So again, I'm very excited. I'm going to ask her to share about her background and why she decided to choose these topics, and then you can just take it from there, Kathleen. So thank you again for hosting this this mastermind this morning. Go ahead.
Well, good morning. Thank you all for having me. I'm really blessed and grateful to be here. In order for me to introduce myself and understand why I do what I do, my story is very important. We all have many stories, but there's one in particular that was the path to bring me to where I am today and how I was chosen to do this. I brought into my marriage what I thought was myself. And as the years went on and we had children and things began to change, I began to see that there was more stress than I could even handle. Long story short, we did end up divorcing, which was extremely traumatic for me. It was a very dark time in my life, but it was also a huge light, because when I came into the marriage and had children, I said, I'm not going to do certain things that my parents did in raising me. And that was a cycle I wanted to break. And I did. You know, little tweak of bad judgment on only a couple of occasions, but for the most part, I broke that cycle. However, I didn't see all the others. I didn't see that everything that I brought into my marriage, that I brought into my life, that I was taking through my life, I didn't see those until I had to make a choice. Do I stay in the darkness of the pain and suffering of my divorce, or do I choose my life? And my sons, I have twin boys, and they are my absolute joy. And it's an honor to be their mom. There was really, once I had asked myself that question, there was no discussion, there was no thought. It was come out of it. In the process of doing that work, I began to take what I was teaching in my yoga classes. And I said, if it works for my students and my clients, why can't it work for me? You know, that old practice what you preach. So as I began my own journey of self-discovery, I began to see that the stress I had been carrying was my own creation through my own cycles of crap that I've been carrying that was never mine to carry. And I call it domestication. I call it influence, imprinting. But I heard it called the other day, a friend of mine called it the generational curse. And that really struck me, because we come into this world as these innocent little babies, and then the world gets their hands on us. And one of the most beautiful things to come out of my journey, believe it or not, was forgiveness. And when I realized that everything I was carrying, I learned from my family, my relatives, school, friends, society, everything that I was exposed to, which if we don't know what we don't know, initially it's not our fault. So when I understood that I was carrying and behaving and reacting to my life in certain ways that were not healthy, when I realized where that all came from and that I had a choice to continue to break the cycles and be different and make my life the way that who I was, who am I? Then, number one, I was able to forgive myself. I was able to forgive those behind me. It's not easy. but in understanding that I was carrying stuff allowed me to understand that they were carrying stuff that was never theirs to carry. And it allowed me to forgive my ex-husband, who I adore to this day, because he brought what he didn't know he had. So the forgiveness was really, really huge. And that forgiveness and that understanding and acceptance allowed me to release and rebuild. And as I was going through this process, I became an adaptive yoga teacher in 2006. And I wanted to do adaptive because we are all different. Every single one of us here is on a completely different journey. And your body is your body, your journey. And to step into a yoga class and try to put yourself into this perfect pose, there isn't. Your only perfect pose is yours. So I love teaching adaptively. And what was happening is the universe was saying, pay attention, look, see, hear. And I was able to see what was happening to my ladies on their mats, that something was going on. Something that was happening out here was trying to come through here. So we began to work with that. And that's what I said, if it works for them, it can work for me. This chose me. It chose me. That was happening. And the universe said, okay, this is your journey. I need to put you through a few of your own hells so that you can become stronger and help others. My purpose, my mission, what I absolutely adore is to help women see where their stress comes from, that it comes from those cycles that have been embedded, that have been influenced, imprinted, that are not theirs. And in breaking those cycles, they're getting rid of stress that we create because we have to react, we have to do, we have to live. We've been told, ladies, for all our lives, how to be, how to do, how to think, how to look, how to dress, how to move. Enough. Enough. We were women first before we wore any other hat. And we are still our own beautiful souls. So in recognizing where that stress comes from, breaking those cycles, the ultimate goal is to build a powerful legacy, not only for yourself, but for your children. And if you don't have children, you must have, it's energy that you can still put out to other women and their children. And in doing this, I started with my boys are going to be 28. I still work with them. And I recognize the things that I see in them that they learned from Dave and I. And we have many open conversations about that. And because it's so important for me, and I'm sorry, this is so huge for me. For me to be able to say to them, that was never yours. It was never mine. We need to stop. And now that we have our first grandchild in the family, I tell Connor, this legacy is now blossomed into something that I can't even put into words. How I live my life is my example to my sons. I'm sorry. I'm a Leo, I'm half Italian, and I'm very emotional. But creating this legacy for myself, the day that they came to me and said how proud they are of me, that was it. So when you're going through your days and you're going through your life and you're reacting, I call daily posts. Okay, no, I'll be honest. I still have a challenge when I'm driving. A little bit of a challenge. I am from upstate New York originally, so I'm a little, intense. But I'm still working on that. I've gotten better. But I call them daily posts. And the little daily posts that we react to is where to start. Because if we recognize those daily posts and we can say, okay, why? And it's actually become easier. In fact, I'll share this story. I was on the phone with this lovely lady, lovely woman from an investment company. And I was having trouble getting into my account. And we were going all through this and we were trying to figure it out online. And, you have to do everything but a strip search almost to get information to prove who you are. So we went through all this and I was already a little bit frustrated, but I said, okay, let me go find out that information and I'll come back. Well, we got that straightened out and then I couldn't get in online. I called her back and I said, I'm struggling to get online. Well, we have to go through verifying who you are. I said, excuse me, same woman, you and I, we just went through all this. This went on for quite a while. And finally I was getting so frustrated and I stopped because I recognized it. I recognized that trigger. And I said, first of all, I want to apologize to you. My tone has nothing to do with you. Apparently, there's still something that I need to work on from my marriage and divorce. Well, we had a great laugh about that, but it's gotten to the point now where I can recognize my triggers. And how I choose to respond to that trigger is going to determine my stress, how I'm going to move through my day. And this is quite blunt and direct, but it is my choice. It is our choice as to whether we stress over things or not. And it's part of all the societal influences that we are supposed to expect things to be a certain way. And when things don't go with that expectation, well, we react. And one of the biggest falsehoods that we have been taught is this perfection chasing. What is that? There is no such thing. You know, Kim, whatever is perfect for you. Omega, I'm sorry, I don't have my contact. Omega, your coffee, is that perfect for you right now? Because it's yours. Whatever pleases you in that moment, whether it's a beautiful new warm cozy blanket, whether it's sitting quietly in a chair that you love drinking tea, meditating in that manner, it's yours. It's yours, and that is perfect for you in that moment. That's all that perfection is. And we go through chasing this illusion of perfection and breaking the generational curses, the influences, changing up habits is so freeing. Just having the recognition, just saying, okay, yes, I forgive myself and I forgive where I learned this from because they didn't know. I can't blame my parents because they had their own stuff that they were influenced by. And why do I want to carry that? Because all I'm doing is passing it on to my children, who will pass it on to my grandchildren. So in doing so, I became a stress and lifestyle management guide. I'm still a therapeutic restorative yoga guide, but I like to consider myself a legacy builder because I'm building my own to the point of, now you don't have to be so drastic. I uprooted myself from everything that I knew, 61 years of my life in upstate New York, and moved south. So it's a little drastic, but for me, it was perfect for me. And I love to help women and ask the honest question, what do you want? Not what other people have told you what you should have or not have. Not what the world thinks you should be, do, how, whatever. What do you want? What do you see that you're doing that you don't like? And you have to admit, we have to admit our role. I had to admit my role in my life. I had to admit my role in my marriage. I had to admit my role in influencing my children. Do you think that was easy? Hell no, it was not. It was not. But it's all very freeing. And if I can help one woman recognize that and say, you're right, it isn't mine. Let's erase, put it, and depending, I put some of mine in a little file box because sometimes I need to have a review. Other stuff has just been released. And I have the tools and the process now that when something comes up and starts to trigger me, I can say to myself, okay, why am I being triggered? What's going on? And you know what it's also done? I have a whole lot more compassion for just people in my world that I see on a day-to-day basis. Maybe going to the market, maybe somebody's having an attitude with me. And my first reaction is, ooh, what's going on? What are they carrying? What are they carrying that they don't need to, that's not theirs? Because there's something in there and it's not theirs. It's not their fault. Once you know, if you still do it, then it's your fault because it's a choice, but it's not your fault. It wasn't mine. But if I make that choice now to react that way, yes, it is. So it's joyful, it's freeing, it's peaceful, it's a calling that I am very happy to carry. It's a responsibility that I am joyfully grateful and honored to carry. And that's probably it in a nutshell. Stop worrying what other people think, stop people pleasing, stop perfection chasing, love who you are because you're absolutely so incredible the way that you are. You just have to remember that, see it, and honor it. Thank you.
I love that, Kathleen. It's so true. We have sometimes this unrealistic expectation of how things supposed to be, you know, and yet our brain, you know, how our thoughts become our feeling, and we just sometimes it just takes on another life because we have our past, you know, we have this subconscious mind that has been programmed from our upbringing, from our culture, from whatever. And I think it's just that whole awareness thing that you're talking about, being aware and just to know, you know, what you're feeling, what you're thinking, because your thoughts become your feeling.
Exactly.
To be aware of it, and then to take action accordingly. Like you said, we have you know, we make choices in life, and that's so great what you share. It's so true. I know that for a fact. So thank you for that.
You're welcome. And you mentioned about our history and our past, and there are so many things that has anybody, and you know, if you don't want to say, that's fine. When you start going back, looking at things, when you start looking at things in your life that we think that they were so, and I don't mean, I mean, I no disrespect to, there's some serious things that go on that are a whole different area. But I mean, just these smaller, and at the time they don't seem small, but when we look back on them, we still carry them. Recognizing, having a conversation with that little girl and letting her know that you're her, keeping her safe, she's keeping you safe, working through that. It's really enlightening to realize that all those things were really my strength, saying, no, I'm stronger than that. That's not who I am. That does not define me. So it was a very interesting discovery. I'll shut up now.
Thank you, thank you. Sorry, I lost my internet for a while, but I came back. So Suzanne, you're next.
Oh yeah, wow, what a powerful message. And especially going through what I just went through my last weekend. I am a late diagnosed OSFI, high functioning autism Asperger woman. And I had a conversation, well, wasn't quite a conversation, it was a text conversation with my mother. I had made a post toward my coaching because I want to help other women rise up out of the control of their families and the beliefs that who they should be, and they can't afford it because they can't make the money, and so forth. And you can only imagine, and the bullying and everything. And I'm so fired up. I'm writing a book called Daughters and Mothers, Acceptance, Expectations, and Personal Beliefs Do Not Have to Divide You. Just because it's so powerful. And just this past weekend, I know my mom's under stress because my dad has Alzheimer's. I get it. I understand what she's going through. I know it's painful for her, but she hasn't stopped projecting that onto me, particularly because I live 10 minutes away from her, but also because I'm her only daughter and she expects that I'm going to be the one to take care of her. Well, that's great. And I don't mind it, except when you denounce who I am because the doctor didn't tell you that I was autistic and therefore I shall not be. So my stress is, do you really accept me enough to have me love you and take care of you, or are you just going to build this wall because you don't accept me? Because I'm happy to take care of you, but I don't want to be admonished for who I am. And that's where she thinks it is she's going to decide what behaviors I should have, what beliefs I should have, how I should carry my life. And if I get excited about what I want to do with my life and it's out of her out of her feeling that I can afford it, she just throws it down and says it's impossible, it's too expensive, forget it. So I'm rising up, as you just said, if you were bullied, I'm like, yeah, here's a woman who's trying to bring herself out and know who I am. And I'm on my way, but I've had to deal with a lot of stuff in the meantime. So that's where I am.
Wow. Anybody want to respond to that? Kim, go ahead. Thank you
Yeah,
Suzanne, for your share.
Thank you.
Suzanne, that's so powerful. Wow, where do you even begin with that? You know, the thing is that she's just projecting her stories and her shadows over you, right? And you're so wonderfully and uniquely made. You have a personal gift of life, right? That you get to share with others. And you see that, right? I see that in you, and I don't even know you, but I could feel that, right? Can everyone feel that vibrational energy that she has? It's so beautiful, right? And so, you know what? The greatest gift that you have right now, I believe, is to rise above that, right? So, you know what? We all have different needs in our life, right? We all have imperfections, but those imperfections are our greatest gift and our greatest message to the world. And the best part for you is that you get to show up and you get to shine through, right?
Mm-hmm.
You get to bless those people that you already have envisioned that you're going to be blessing in your book. That is going to be your greatest gift. There's no comparison and there's no one like you.
Thank you.
I work with many with special needs, with kids, with autism, with my health and wellness company. It is so amazing that some, not all, will give such a crazy title to that. My nephew has Down syndrome. When I look at him, I see such an amazing special gift in that, and things that he does that I could never do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you are so uniquely and wonderfully made, just like each of us in this group. And you know what? You go shine, you go show up. You go give that hope to others that may be going through the exact same thing that you are. And I guarantee you may not win your mother over at this time, but the more that you shine, she's going to question her thoughts. And you know what? You have a 50-50 chance that she may change her perspective, or she may not, but that's her shadow, her story, not yours.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
You were made in a time such as this, as Esther, to show up, right, with wisdom and knowledge. And look at that face. I mean, seriously, oh my gosh, you shine. Anyway, that's all I have to say. My encouragement at 7:30 exactly in the morning.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was so awesome, Kim. I mean, truly, you're special, Suzanne. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. So thank you for that, Kim. That was really wonderful message. Binta.
I wanted to second what Kim just said to Suzanne. You just when I look at your face, all I see is light. It just makes me laugh. It just makes me smile, because all I see is light. And your mom, the story you're telling is so touching. But your mom is also there to teach you. You're learning from her, and she's showing you how to be. So that is also a gift. It's a gift. So the more you keep going, the more you're also going to help her. And it's just like Suzanne said, and Kathleen said before, it's about forgiveness. It's about forgiving her, knowing that she doesn't know any better. She's doing what she can, what she knows how to do. And for me also, and Kathleen, I love your story. I love your story because you, as you spoke and you talk about your journey about yoga, you know, that's, I always talk about that. I also come from a culture where I was conditioned since I was like 5 years old. And my parents, you know, they were such great parents, but I was culturally, I was conditioned. Things were done to me that were not my choice. But now in my life at this moment, when yoga found me, I just began to peel the layers and start being like thinking of forgiving people. I just forgave them, knowing that they didn't know what they were doing. What happened to me also happened to my mother and my father. They all went through the same thing. They were conditioned from their generation. So at that time, I didn't know. I was always blaming, why is this happening? Why is that happening? But now I know that everybody's doing the best that they can. They just don't know how. They just don't know any better. They're doing sorry, they're doing what they know is they know how to do. So it's all about forgiveness and being kind to yourself and keep shining your light, because that's what you're here for. This is your journey. You're put here to go through what you're doing so that you can be able to shine your light more. So that's really beautiful. Congratulations. Keep going on about your book. And I just all love to you, respect to all of you here. Kathleen, Suzanne, Omeka, my beautiful friend Kim, and my buddy Valerie, and my mentor Rini. You are all, you help me to grow all the time. You help me grow so much. I can't even believe I'm sitting here speaking the way I'm speaking, because before speaking was a problem, because I was always keep quiet, keep quiet, keep quiet, respect, respect, respect. And as you speaking, Kathleen, about your marriage and everything, I was sitting here the other day. I have a younger sister who's going through the same stress in her marriage. Because back home, African women, you have to obey your husband, you have to do this, you have to do that. And I was telling her, those days are over. Those days are over. Those days are when our mothers were going through them. I said, those days are over. This is 2022. You know, so she's beginning to wake up. She's like, yes, no, I don't even let my husband do that. I don't let him control me. I don't let him. I said, and that's why she has a huge thyroid problem. Each time she gets stressed, you can see her neck will blow up. I used to have the same thing. I used to have a thyroid problem. You know, so as you're speaking, my mind just went straight to my sister. I'm learning I have having this awareness has allowed me to notice when I'm doing something for myself or to other people. So I treat people the way I want to be treated. So I told her, you're not there to please your husband. You're here to please yourself. Do what you love. Do what you love, and allow that light to shine out on other people. Don't let your husband put you down. She's a wonderful, young, beautiful woman, strong woman. So thank you for sharing your story. And I'm just here to keep growing and learning. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Binta, for that. I mean, like, Binta, you're just amazing. I see you in all this different mastermind, and you've just been shining, you know. You have grown so much from the time that I first met you, and how much you've grown and how wonderful you are, how amazing you are. You know, despite all your challenges growing up, and here you are, this wonderful woman. That's all I see. So thank you for that. Val, do you want to share? You want to respond to Binta? I know you and Binta are very, very close.
Well, as far as, having Binta in my network and all of you also in this mastermind within Noble Goldman, make me feel that I'm part of something special, that the people that I am connected with, we have profound relationship. And I practice also yoga. And I remember, some years ago when Binta was not even thinking about, maybe teaching, taking a step, taking an action of doing so. That's when we met. We met in a yoga center. And I see now what is beautiful about Binta is that she just follow now. She know how to give herself direction and follow it. She's disciplined, and she give herself a command. I can see at her home, she has a whole industry of natural product that I really enjoy. Her teas are so healing. She's got wonderful idea on distributions and all, but I see some results now even more. So her discipline is quite amazing for me to see, because I have my own thing also to follow. And sometimes I'm like, I am not disciplined enough. So when I see that in others, I just want to acknowledge that it's a huge quality, because that's how we advance. When we give ourselves a command and then execute, and live in that moment of having it too, the more happens, the more connections, all kinds of good things happen. Who knows? That's the power of creation, the creative power we have. So I'm very grateful to know about this way of thinking and to be around women who understand this language. Because being a foreigner in the USA, I'm still carrying my French nationality. One of these days I'm going to become a citizen for sure. But in the meantime, I'm so grateful that America is a country where still a lot of mindful development is key for success in life in all areas. And so I want to say that I'm living my dream. And it requires some discipline for sure. Sometimes I'm like, oh my God, this is gonna be so hard, because I'm working on myself right now after being for a whole entire year in a financial mastermind, reestablishing my relationship with money so it's not lost and it's not stolen from me. These are big ideas that I realized were blocking me. I'm not supposed to have a lot of money because it's going to get lost and you're going to get it stolen as well. So I've done all this work, and now I'm learning some new skills to be able to understand this new language that's going on in this world. And that is totally so, something outside basically my comfort zone. And I'm like, wow, at 56, you're going to learn something again. But yeah, we learn. Actually, I remember at 56, that's the age where my mentor, Bob Proctor, starting his real life. Like, wow, things started becoming big for him, So I'm like, all right, I'm just going to follow his lead. I'm going to still keep thinking that way. It doesn't hurt me. I can see it actually only provide me with peace, the peace of mind. Peace of mind for me is essential to health. I've been, since I was a massage therapist 21 years ago, health for me, because I got myself in situation where I endanger my own health. And then I look at myself in the mirror, naturally, not even knowing about, talk to yourself in the mirror, say who you are, love yourself, mwah, mwah, kiss yourself every day, You're a wonderful creation, all of you. So it's really good to do, to have this boost of confidence, So I look at the mirror and I said, well, do you want to do this, on this new venture that I'm going on and where I'm at, and make a decision now? I mean, it's you and nobody else. And so I'm really excited. because
love
now I
Yeah.
invested on it. I'm going to the university and I carved the time, and I'm like, no matter what. So my life is, but I'm going to make a commitment is that I keep being with you guys, because sometimes there is some conflict, but I can see the recording later. So I want to make sure that I'm here definitely as much as possible. And I'm going to be facilitating also with some other of my mentors on the financial mindset and wealth mindset that we can nourish to do greatness, because that's what money is about. You know, we are good. We all know here we have goodness, kindness, forgiveness, faithfulness, you know, in ourselves. Money is going to make it even bigger. That's all I believe, you know. I mean, I want to get the homeless off the street. Now I have this homeless person that I've seen for about quite a bit since I live in that area. I live in the business district, but you know, the homeless decide it's in the business district where you're gonna live too. And so some of them are known, so we leave them alone, you know, and somehow the city takes care of them, you know. But my goal is to be able to get involved, no, in any ways to getting those homeless off the street. The other day I saw another one. This one is really quiet, but and I manage sometimes to make eye contact. I say hello. There are individuals as well. They just lost their mind in that craziness. That's what I believe, and you know, it's not your fault. So a lot amount of forgiveness and see how we can help those people. So I say hello to this one, and you know, she continues, and that's it. I just say hello and I continue. I don't try to engage, because one day she tried to follow me to my office, and you know, those people, unfortunately, sometimes they have body odor that are unsustainable, I'm telling you. And it's really sad, but probably because they got disease or something. I don't know how they stand up sometimes. God bless them. But she followed me to my door, and that day I think I had an eye contact. Please don't do that to me, you know, yet, you know. And I think she understood. So we have these boundaries, you know, no words exchange. And but I think if they had and the other day there was one like really crazy one, you know, he was moving in all directions and thinking the sidewalk was his way, and so I'm, you know, it makes me a little afraid sometimes walking around in the street, you know, with individuals like that really need help and can endanger themselves and other people in the way. You know, if they decide all of a sudden to go across the street and then there's a big accident, well, that's a lot of things happen like this in New Orleans for sure. You know, I even knew one of them that was so gone out there that he decided to run out of the bar, run across St. Charles, and got hit by the streetcar, you know. So I would love to be of service, you know, one way or another to do that. And so I got big ideas. So
Thank you, Val, for your share.
thank you.
Val was one of the first person I met in Noble Goldman, and we used to co-facilitate the Think and Grow Rich Mastermind. Do you remember that, Val?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I cherish this time, Rennie, and I just.
Oh, it's Val, you're frozen. I don't know if I'm frozen or Val is frozen. One of
Val
us.
is frozen.
It's beautiful. Mhm.
Val, you're frozen.
Oh, I don't
Not
know.
anymore. Not anymore. Since you
Okay.
can hear it. Okay, just want to say how grateful I am for you. Omeka, I'd like to hear from you. How are you doing? You want to make some comments about what you've been hearing here?
Yeah, sure. I got the TV in the background. My mother's walking around, trying to get out the door. Trying to get out. Yeah. Yeah, so many things came to my mind when everyone was talking, actually. I used to be bullied, and I also used to be a bully because hurt people, right? That's what they say. And definitely living on a mostly unconscious level up until maybe 16, 20. And yeah, I've seen that and experiencing that life is a journey, and people definitely come into our lives, whether they're our parents or we choose people to get to another place, another realization to learn. Yeah, also getting to a point where we have a choice whether we want to, who we want to surround ourselves with, and our family. It's not a well, to throw someone away and just say blame the other person all the time is not very helpful for me. And I realized that a while ago, and even though I go through different challenges, shall I say, I realized that I'm 100%, it's on me to change whatever it is, and really just constantly integrating the fact that what I see is because of what I feel and what I've been thinking now and however long, because how long does it take for a thought to become reality? Well, sometimes I see it really kind of instantaneously, but like, since we have 60,000 thoughts a day, it's like, well, how often have you had that thought? So I just appreciate being able to choose, and going back and forth between those two words, decide and choose, but I decide and I choose to be who I am at every given moment. Pile of money just seemed like it just vanished, but I put it somewhere safe. And for a whole day, I was just searching and stressing. As soon as you said stress, that came up, and I'm like, okay, it's not $10,000, it's just 400. You'll find it. So yeah, knowing that I deserve to be able to physically make things to generate money and create income. And I also attract the perfect and the right people to build teams of people in the various things that I'm doing, including friends and associates, acquaintances, loved ones in the different masterminds and other caregiver groups, and Instagram, Facebook is the family, so a lot of times I address people, hi, Facebook family, how y'all doing today? This is something I want to share. So just feeling a lot more even emotionally and spiritually, and just everything that I hear reflects one another. And I mean, to me, I feel like we're all connected. But if I asked Mel Robbins if she knew Rennie, or Bob Proctor if he knew, in spirit, or so, it's just been a wonderful journey. My dad, just communicating with him on another level, which I really have, going through different levels, because he wasn't speaking for like a year or two before he passed. And it's been a whole month. I'm like, wow. So time as an illusion, and time as something that we're dealing with, and we could stress, so I don't have enough time, or where has the time gone, or the time is coming for my conference or my time to speak, or so. I release the stress and I give thanks for who I am and my mom, and waking up with that gratitude and just having gratitude all the time. Just being thankful for the many things that I have, that where my money could be or whatever. And it's allowing me, it's like, well, make something positive. I was like, well, cleaning is a beautiful thing, and being organized. So yeah, so I look for the good in everything, even if not at first. That's my goal. So abundance, prosperity, peace, and blessings to all of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
Omid,
thank you,
for your
Kathleen.
great share. Thank you. And good morning, Arlene. Welcome to the.
Hello.
Hello.
Can
Glad
I
you could
respond?
join us. I know
Can
we're
I
at the.
just, I want to just respond to to
Yeah, go
Omega.
ahead, Binta.
I'm laughing because she and I, we communicate sometimes. So the other day, she was still messaging me, first of all, to see how I'm doing, and I, we were talking, and she said, "I'm looking for $300 I can find." I'm looking all over the place and I can find it. And I was like, "Oh, I hope you find it."
Yeah, let me
it's
just say that the power of money is me and my creator and me and it's not about a pile or a one particular talent, or it's like the whole of me. So I
Yeah.
accept mine when it's in.
So,
She
Yeah,
was
money is
looking
never
for
an
a
issue.
pile
Money
of
is not an
money.
issue.
She was looking for a pile of money.
it was
Oh,
just like,
$400. I mean,
Well-
2020s is a pile to me because I really haven't had a lot of physical money in the last couple of years. So
Did you find it?
yes, I'm just gonna
Okay,
say yes.
good.
Why would I say no? Yes.
Okay.
The present is the past is the future. Yes, I'm so happy and grateful. I found it. And there's so many more. There's like 20 more piles. I'm like, yes, yes.
that
Thank you
was
for
so
my
funny
piles
to
of
me.
money.
I mean, now that you're speaking, that was so, at first when you told me it wasn't funny, but today it's like, it's so funny to me. But anyway, that's not what I wanted to even talk about. I wanted to talk about the fact that Omeka, when I first met her, it's also, I see such a difference in her now. When I look at you, you're more like lit up and you're shining more, you know, so we kind of, we're growing together. And do you know that she makes beautiful stones for bracelets for people? I didn't know that until we were on Eileen's call the other day, and Eileen gave her a challenge to kind of like put her work out there. So that was actually the communication. I was like, when is my bracelet gonna be ready? She says, well, right now I'm looking for my $300. But anyway, I wanted to just put that out there that she's such a wonderful woman, and I'm so happy to get to know you all the time now and connecting with you weekly. And just keep shining your light, and I want to get my bracelet soon. Please. Thank you.
Today is my Binta bracelet meditation, magic spiral bracelet meditation. I'm looking forward to it myself.
Yeah, thank you for that. Kathleen, I'd like to give you the floor. We only have 7 more minutes, but welcome, Arlene.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you, everyone, for what you've shared. I know it's not always easy to be vulnerable and to share our things that are close to our heart and that have been, whether they've been painful or joyful, either way, they sometimes can be difficult to share. So I appreciate you very much. Thank you. And just keep walking the path. Your path is your own to live any way that you want. And the one thing I will leave and close on is that word selfish. It is not selfish to put ourselves first. And if we're putting ourselves first, it means we have more power, energy, love, and grace to take care of others. It's teaching them to put themselves first, that it's okay. It's not being mean or disrespectful to others. And if we can stay in that mindset that we are putting out an energy and a love, and my camera just got blurry. If we're putting out an energy and a love that is from our hearts and our soul and is truly honored by ourselves, that's only going to be good in serving others, whether we know we're doing it or not. Once that energy is out there, it's going to do its thing. Thank you so much for everyone. I appreciate this time and this grace of being here. Thank you.
Thank you. Before I close we still have 5 more minutes. Anybody else want to say anything? Kim, you have anything to say?
I just would like to say, Kathleen, this is the first time that we've had connection, and I just felt like I do similar type of coaching for women, and I just felt like listening to you, there was so much ease and flow to, I mean, you could just really feel her true passion and purpose behind this. And that's so beautiful. Like, I'm sitting here listening to us this morning. We are like in the 1%. We're not the 5%. We're in the 1%. We are the creators. We're the movers, right? We get to take our own lessons in life, and we get to create legacies, right? Kathleen, that's what you said, right? We're creating our legacy by our own lessons in life. And how powerful is that? Each and every one of us in here, we're just powerful women, right? And each one of us are really more than something special. We're not the ordinary. And the only difference between us and the women that are sitting out on the sidelines is that we decided to show up. We decided to say, you know what, we're going to, as I love, I love like the women that we are in the arena getting our asses kicked. Most of the time by ourselves, right? It's our own shadows, but we get to show up so individually, and we get to go and conquer, even if it's just one person at a time, like Val was saying, right? Even if it's that one lady that seems half crazy on the street, homeless, those things that break our hearts and create our whys in life, right? Kathleen, you wanted to break that cycle, right? We all have such a message, and we have such a beautiful life in front of us, if only we just shine for others. So I just had to say that, Kathleen. I just loved your story. It is such a blessing and a truth. And each and every one of us here are just blessed with those same stories, getting over our stories and moving forward, right? So that's all.
Thank you all. Thank you, Kim. And thank you, each and every one of you, because even though Kim and I are in the same lane, so to speak, it's beautiful because it gives us our own message to serve. And Suzanne, you have your own message. Almeka, Binta, Val, Rini, Arlene, you all have your own message. And thank you so much for sharing it. Thank you, because one person cannot do it alone.
I love this group. I love this group. That's why we created this space for all of us to share. Kathleen, so grateful for you for hosting this call, and for all of you here. Arlene, we didn't get a chance to hear from you. Do you want to say something before I close this call? I know Val has to leave. She has to leave soon, so.
Thank you, Kathleen. You were awesome. Each and every one of you ladies, I have a relationship with you guys. You're all awesome. Thank you for what you bring to the world. Suzanne, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you, Arlene.
Thank you. Thank you again, Arlene and everyone here.
And this evening, 7 o'clock, I have a mastermind. Please come.
Okay, sounds good.
Oh, and one more thing. I'm doing a show today on relationships. Anybody who wants to pop in their head and talk about relationships on TV, just their standpoint, notify me. We're getting on today at 12 EST.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you again, everyone, and for this call, and looking forward to next week. And hope all of you can come back again. With that, have a great day, have a great week, have a great weekend. See you all next week. Bye all.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Penny,
Bye,
thank
Derek.
you. Bye, everybody.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
For the cosmic.